How's it going, everyone? It's Artifact. Today we're going to get some analog synth power into Vital. Let's get into it. So in yesterday's video, I recorded some samples from my friend Chris's analog synth, the TD-3 from Behringer. Here's one of the loops we made. And you can hear it's got this really kind of nice layer of distortion on top and noise, and I wanted to put this through Vital and beef it up. So I created this sound in the end. Just using that one little sample, which is in our little sample pack that we made, link is down below, and we just beef it up in Vital with some sine waves and some distortion, basically. So I wanted this long note at the beginning. So we just throw the sample straight in here. You can also just use your own analog synth or find a sample that you want to use, like you can find a free one somewhere. But yeah, a nice long held note would be good for this kind of sound. And then what we're going to do is we're going to frequency modulate in, firstly, a sine wave that's sort of pitched a little bit high up, and we're going to modulate it in on this LFO, so we have a little bit of a pattern going on here. So we drag this LFO to the frequency modulate sample section here. So you can see it kind of goes, we have this slow going up and then this sharp down and then a sort of another sharp up to provide these little hits as well in a loop. So it's already sounding pretty nice, but now I wanted to get some more low end and also some warmth and width into the sound. And for this, I used the basic shapes sine wave again. We've just pitched it down 2 octaves this time, so it's very, very low. And I've got this unison going on it, so it's actually doing some kind of pitching movement, which is a little bit counterintuitive for a low sub, but this is not the actual sub. This is just providing a bit of that kind of low, wide warmth movement, if you know what I mean. And when we put this in with everything else, it kind of like moves everything together. And by having the unison on 3 and these voices, the percentage on 20%, it gives this kind of detuned movement, and it kind of moves the whole sound at the same time. Especially when we frequency modulate it from oscillator 1 as well, using the same LFO2 here. So it's a really nice kind of full sounding sort of sine wave and analog synth power working together. Now all we can do is add a few effects to even improve the sound a bit more. A bit of chorusing, just a bit of that extra width. Then we can go for a little bit of distortion and filtering. I actually did a little filter trick here as well, where I've used this filter, but it only comes in at the end of the loop. So I've applied an LFO3 to this filter, kind of in these stabs. But I turn the mix down and we only have the effect coming in a little bit later on in the loop. So as you can see here. So it just comes in at the end just to give a bit of variation in the sound design. And yeah, a bit of distortion after that to reintroduce some of the frequencies that we've lost, and also just to boost everything together in general. And then a little bit of reverb right at the end. Now that bit at the end where it gets a bit harsh of the loop, we don't actually really use that in the sound, because at this point the sample's kind of caught up and it started to play the next note. But we're only really concentrating on this first section here. But that's all the you know, when we play the loop. We don't quite get to that next sample yet, so it's kind of the perfect length here. This patch is also on my Patreon if you ever want to support me, as well as all my other samples. The link to join is down below, and I wish you guys a pleasant day. Peace.